I do put my finger down to block the water, then after I pour water in south. The reason why I put this metal is to make the water stable. See, I'm trying to make the water stable. Still, the reason as to why I put this flower is that you can see the water spinning with your eyes, but when I put a flower, I see the direction easily. So in southern hemisphere, the water spins anti-clockwise. Then on 21st March, 23rd September, those 2 days are called the equinox days in Uganda. On those 2 days, when you stand at the equator line, you have no shadow because the sun is directly overhead the equator line. So in Uganda, they marked 2 places. Here in Mpigi district, Kaiwe Town Council, Kalagala Chikutus. Then in Kasese, there are 2 monuments here and in Kasese. So also when you travel to Kasese, you find the same experiment. So now let's cross and go to the north and see what happens north of the equator. So it will be the last. So now you have crossed the line in the northern side of the world. So USA, Germany, Netherlands, Sweden, Denmark, all European countries, they all fall in the north. Then we have the same flower. So Mr. Peter, I hope you can see the difference now.
Yes, now it's moving clockwise.
And the water is spinning but not so fast, simply because we are close to the equator line. But the further you go, the faster it becomes. The closer, the slower. And then there are 13 countries where you can find the same experiment. Countries that are crossed by the equator line. We have Ecuador, Colombia, Brazil, Sao Tome, Gabon, Congo-Brazzaville, Congo-DRC, Uganda, Kenya, Somalia, Indonesia, Gorontalo, and Bonao. Those are the only countries with the same experiment and same experience. So now we have to go back at the center and see what happens right at the middle of the world, where there are no forces.
So what happens here at the zero latitude?
The equator line, the forces of north and the forces of south don't cross the line, they just meet at the equator line. So where they meet, the zero, which means the water doesn't spin at the equator line. So we're going to put the same flower to see what happens right at the equator line where there are no forces. So we put a flower right at the equator line. So at the center, the water doesn't make any rotation. And on 21st March, 23rd September, they're called the equatorial equinox days in Uganda. On those 2 days, the sun is overhead the equator line. So when you stand at the equator line, you have no shadow on those 2 days, 21st March and the 23rd September. So right now, the sun is in the southern hemisphere. So Australia, South Africa, they're having summer. Europe, they're having winter because the sun is south of the equator, you can see that above. Then on 21st March, the sun will be crossing from south to north. It comes back 23rd September to the south.